Y'all already know the rules. When you come in my house, take off your shoes and super violate that like button. So I was just listening to a little bit of Jadakiss and Fat Joe, their little podcast on YouTube. I swear it's like I hear so many regurgitated conversations that I done brought to the internet before at damn near everybody. But anyway, the conversation that they talking about is hip hop the most dangerous, job? And they say yeah, and I say no, it's not. But I'm gonna tell you what makes hip hop so dangerous. Hip hop is only dangerous because success breeds envy. And you got a bunch of rich dudes that want to go back to poverty and pain and floss on them. You got a bunch of rich dudes that want to pull up in Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and Maybachs with $100,000 to $1 million worth of jewelry on and think that the people that's there that could barely buy themselves a steak and lobster ain't gonna feel some type of way. Success breeds envy. See, the thing about it is that if you take your success and you stay where you live, like Fat Joe don't live in the Bronx, what are you doing there? Jim Jones don't live in Harlem. What are you doing there? Dudes actually got on airplanes and moved to different states and still be claiming where they came from. Granted, I understand. I will always love the Bronx. I will always love New York. But I'm smart enough to know that New York don't love me. And all the niggas talking about, oh, I bet you won't do this, I bet you won't do that. Like, first and foremost, I don't have that much time on my hand to get up and just go run through Patterson and run through Forest and run through this Edenwald and go jump on the highway and go through Brownsville and East New York. I honestly, and I ain't trying to take shots at nobody, but I just don't understand a bunch of niggas that never made it out of the hood taking other niggas on a world tour of a hood. I don't understand it. When you say you can't come to my hood or brothers say stuff like that to each other, I don't get it because all of the poor people live there. So who can't go there? All the poor people are there and have to live in misery because certain people want to create a lifestyle or energy that's barbaric towards that environment. Now, once again, when it comes to being a rapper, that's not the most dangerous job in the world. It's not even nowhere close to it. The reason why becoming a rapper, again, they brought up Run DMC Jam Master Jay, right? Jam Master Jay died because his rap career was over. He was never the rapper, he was the DJ. Reverend Run became a reverend, so you don't see him performing anymore. So the concerts go out the window. Now, what does Jam Master Jay do? Instead of being in the studio and having dudes in the studio trying to break another group, nope. He's in the studio with bricks, kilos. Decided to get in the game. And he decided to cut some of his family members or close family friends or whatever, allegedly. Matter of fact, they've been convicted. I don't have to say allegedly, but I'm going to say allegedly anyway because some of these brothers are still screaming that they're innocent. Maybe they'll come home on appeal. I don't know. But as the story goes, he cut niggas out of a deal and they felt some type of way and they turned his TV off. Now, I don't know what his financial status was. But yes, he was famous, but his fame didn't get his TV turned off. His fame didn't get his snotbox rocked. What got his snotbox rocked is that he was playing in a game and there was some money on the table. And he didn't want to break bread with niggas no more. And it was not going to allow him to leave with that bread. Well, so if I can't have it, You can't have it. Young Dolph decides to go to the hood and go get him some cookies, knowing that he got a bounty on his head, and when certain people see him, they just gonna make a phone call, and that's exactly what happened. Young Dolph life wasn't dangerous because he stayed in the suburbs where rich people live. This nigga had properties all over the place. All he had to do was stay in the confinements of the middle class or the rich people. Middle class people are not running around acting like that. That's why a lot of niggas that I know that got money, they don't want to leave the hood, because when they go in a middle class neighborhood, not even a rich neighborhood, middle class neighborhoods, most of the people looking at them like, nigga, I got what you got. You're not really that special. You're not. You're not. All the niggas in New York City that I know bragging about getting money, I swear, it seems like when people go out of town, especially in the South, but out of town, they do way better than New Yorkers. Y'all dudes is living in New York in tenement buildings and in the projects. And when you go out of town and you see these dudes with upstairs, downstairs, 2 and 3 bathrooms, like when I be bragging about houses, right? Y'all gotta understand something. When I brag about having a house, first of all, it's expensive to have a house, especially in New York. Especially in New York when you paying mortgages $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 on a mortgage, right? But nevertheless, right? I come from the projects. I come from Bronx River Projects, 1455 Harrod Avenue. Across the street is Bronxdale, Monroe, Soundview, Castle Hill. On the other side, you got Watson, you got Stratford, you got Elder. Like there's blocks, like nigga, you had to go through blocks upon blocks upon blocks and survive all those blocks upon blocks upon, go across the bridge. You got Bryan Ave, you got Hoe Ave, you got Longfellow. Like nigga, do you understand? Go on the other side, you got Lambert. Walk a little bit further up, you got 800. I don't think y'all get my drift. So when you come from pissy elevators and staircases and when you come from where I come from and you go out of town and you see how these niggas is living, backyards, barbecues, upstairs, downstairs, dining rooms, kitchens, it's like, yo, the quality of living is way better out of town than it is in New York City.
Watch out, vehicle on shoulder ahead.
The quality of living is way, way better. So, with that being said, being in hip hop is not the most dangerous job. No. What makes it dangerous is because dudes want to gamble with poverty. If you stay out of the hood, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna keep from getting a bullet in your dome. I'm gonna say that again. If you stay out of the hood, you're gonna keep from getting a bullet in your dome. And it's just that simple. You don't really see most of the time, too many times, somebody actually going all the way to the suburbs and doing something to these celebrities. That's very, very rare. I'm not saying that it can't happen. I'm not saying that it won't happen. I'm saying that it's rare. So no, we're not gonna sit up there and make that job a dangerous job. It's not a dangerous job. Going in certain neighborhoods, if you know what you going to, and see the thing about it is, if you know you go into certain neighborhoods, right, that's gang affiliated or got a high crime rate, and there's a bar or lounge that you're going to do a walkthrough, all you have to do is throw the precinct $1,000, $800, or whatever the case may be, and there will be a police car parked out there for your protection. You could also hire off-duty officers. You know, once I realized that the code of the streets that niggas taught me was all a lie, it was all bullcrap. Once I realized that 50 Cent was running around with all types of officers, once I seen, when I went and had that meeting with Tekashi 6ix9ine, academics and Whack 100s, and I seen, like when I went to go use the bathroom, they tried to tell me, nah, let's keep recording. I said, nah, y'all talk without me. I gotta pee. All that drinking I'm doing at the table. When I went in the hallway, there was Secret Service all through the building. It does not make you a sucker to hire off-duty officers to protect you. As a matter of fact, I'm so foul with it now. I have no respect for the streets so much the way that I might go back outside again and antagonize niggas and talk trash with some off-duty officers all around me, so a nigga could come outside again and try to clap me. I might do that. I don't have no problems. I think totally different now than having legal shooters. When you decide to come outside with a mask on and clap at a nigga that's drunk and throwing a tantrum, breaking down, going through a moment, I might have next time I might have some legal shooters. That'll push your cap back. That'll twist your cap. But nah, all jokes aside though.
Watch out, vehicle on shoulder ahead.
All jokes aside though. Y'all know I'm on the highway, making my way back to New York. Niggas say I ain't outside, right? I'm outside. I be on the highway by myself. By myself. No entourage, no nothing, by myself. When niggas see me, they be like, oh, that's me. Yeah, that's me. I'm Mr. Yeah, that's me. By myself. I'm not saying that it's smart. I'm just saying a lot of the times, I'm going to be honest with you. When they sit up there and they tell y'all, oh, that people hate Hassan Campbell. Nah, that's the internet showing y'all that. When people see me, they go crazy. I'm not going to sit up there and say that it ain't no stick-up kids out there that might not try to, you know what I mean, catch a brother and yap a brother. Because, yeah, and when I'm traveling outside, like, yeah, I'm heavy. Yeah. Even when I'm by myself, I ain't by myself. I got angels protecting me. That's why you get on your knees and pray. Sometimes it'll be danger sitting right down the road that you don't even see, and God will guide you right in a different direction. Just get on your knees and pray. But yeah, man, you got to understand, like in life, Cain killed Abel, right? Those stories in the Bible is there for a reason. Cain killed Abel out of what? Jealousy. Success breeds envy. A lot of the times I break down and I cry. You know what makes me break down and cry and get drunk and go on crazy rants? It's because when I love hard. When I love hard. And when I really, when I big somebody up and I say that's my brother, I don't call niggas my friends. When I say that's my brother, and you start to realize just how many of your brothers ain't your brothers no more, and it's not because you had a fallout with these niggas, it's because they cannot stand to see you be successful. Niggas cannot stand to see you be successful. So the same niggas that you like, the same niggas that you think in your mind, you telling niggas, yo, my nigga will push your, my nigga do this, my nigga do that. Nah, they don't feel like that about you no more. They don't feel like that. And as a matter of fact, when you stop doing certain things, you know, certain people be inviting me to certain places and I be like, are you kidding me? It's not because I think that I'm better than you. It's that I know that you're inviting me to a death trap. And this is not back in the days. See, when you got a wife and the kids, or you got as big as family as I, and then you got autistic children like me, I can't afford to be gambling with my life just to hang out and prove to niggas that I'm coming outside. I'm outside with the shooters. That's not responsible. It's not grown, and it's everybody gambling with their life. What we gonna do? Sit up there and stare at each other in the bullpens, and then when the police sit up there and say, okay, call your name and your number, they sending y'all to different penitentiaries, y'all not even gonna be holding it down up north together. Yeah, you see how that sound? Y'all not gonna even be holding it down together up north. You going to jail. And one thing I'm gonna tell you, man, that's just like I hear people sitting up there saying about Fabio Foreign.
Vehicle on shoulder ahead.
Yeah, Fabio Foreign, ain't nobody saying free Fabio. Yeah, because that show you what niggas feel about him. But at the same time, why the hell would they have to say free a nigga that's in jail allegedly for pulling out a gun on a female? Nigga, you was on top of the world. And that's what you thought about your freedom? That's what you thought about the bag? That's what you thought about the concerts? There's no way in hell, unless I gotta defend my life, and I gotta prove that I stood my grounds when I sat up there and I poke a nigga up or do whatever I gotta do to survive. I'm not gambling with the last days of Hassan Campbell. You hear that? Because that's what all of us got to say to ourselves. These are our last days. I know niggas that didn't make it out of their teen years that was my friends. I know niggas that didn't make it out of their 20s that was my friends. That's not here. I can remember being in jail, crying, boo-hoo crying, when Papa went home. Hugging the nigga. We sitting up there hugging, crying, because it's crazy. Let me tell you a story, right? We was in a program house, Mod 2, and we on the school floor. We was going to school. And while we in the program house, we on the school floor, there was a teacher, white lady. She had them tarot cards. She reading everybody cards. When she read Papo's card, she just looked at him. And she wouldn't tell him what she saw. I'll never forget that. A couple of days later, Papo goes home. I'm hugging the nigga crying because I felt, it felt like I was never going to see the nigga again. Crying, me and that nigga crying. He went home. I'm speaking to him every day though, happy. A month later, was it a month or 60 days? One of the two. The nigga Papo got murdered by Dre. My other mans that went home. And Papo was only 20. I could tell you so many dudes that never made it out of their teens and their early 20s. And now, some of us is in our 40s, some of us in our early 50s. I didn't hit my 50s yet. I'm still in my 40s. And so many people done passed away. I went to so many funerals that I started getting numb, especially during the COVID season. I went to so many funerals. I've never seen so many people die during those COVID years, a little 2 or 3 years of COVID. I've never seen so many people die in my life. To whereas we on the clock now. We are on the clock. No man knows the hour. How that saying go? If you got 24 hours to live, treat every day as if it's your last day on this earth, and live life as if you are on the run. I remember one of these clown YouTubers tried to clown me. What, you telling Granny to stay dangerous? 2 days later, Granny got a snot box rocked, and I did a story on how, yeah, Granny caught one. And as a matter of fact, no disrespect to the woman that Jim Jones went to her funeral. I forgot her name. May God have mercy on her soul. The woman that Jim Jones was crying over, may God have mercy on her soul. All due respect to her. She was 61 years old, my nigga. A slug took her soul. A slug. Who would ever even think that your grandmother would go through something like that? Who? And I say that to say this. In my own highway chronicles, while I'm on the highway, right? I'm going to get a better setup so I could actually show y'all the routes that I'm taking when I'm on these road trips and stuff like that, hitting up these different states. Live life as if you on a run and stay dangerous at the same time. Staying dangerous sometimes just means staying away from the hood and hood politics. Stay away from the hood. Stay away from the hood. And don't let your girl, your wife, whatever you want to call her, stress you or nag you to the point the way that you running outside to get away from her. And she pushing you outside into the streets because you can't take her. It's not that everybody don't like their house. Everybody ain't comfortable being in their house because you in a burnt out relationship with a nasty female that don't know how to talk to a nigga right. And then when you get your TV turned off, she gonna be laying on top of your casket. Nah. Don't love me in my grave, love me while I'm alive. Being a rapper is not the most dangerous job unless you a drill rapper. Now you begging for somebody to turn your TV off because you sitting up there dissing they dads. The only time that job becomes a dangerous job is when you go back to the hood. Stay out of the hood. That's my take on the situation. So yeah, Jadakiss and Joe, you know, it's nice to see y'all reliving some of the conversations that we created on YouTube before y'all got here. Sometimes the only thing I sit up there and I say, I love Jadakiss. I love Jadakiss. Let me say that. I love Jadakiss. I steal so many lines. When niggas be sitting up there saying I stole a line, nigga, I use so many of Jadakiss lines. Matter of fact, Jadakiss, you don't owe me nothing. I steal so much of Jadakiss lines, man. Yeah, I love Jadakiss. That nigga is so witty. And Fat Joe might go down in history as the biggest liar who ever touched the mic or the internet. Fat Joe might go down as the biggest liar who've ever touched the internet. By far. It is what it is. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. I'll probably upload this video. You know, y'all let me know in the comment section how y'all like these car videos will be on the highway. Let me know in the comment section. Should I do more? You know, how did I come off? How you like it? It is what it is. Yeah, I'll upload this when I get home tonight. I'll probably be on the highway for another 8 hours. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. To pay attention to your circle before they hurt you. I'm out. I'm outside. Nigga, I'm on the highway. Hold up, y'all. Yo, this is crazy. Look. See, I was doing 70. Now look. Nigga in traffic.